If you are over 60 and have started to feel like your legs are simply not what they used to be, you are not alone. Perhaps getting up from a chair feels like a massive chore. Walking upstairs leaves you winded, or you find yourself gripping railings much more frequently. You need to understand that this is not just normal aging, and it is definitely not a reality you must passively accept. What the vast majority of people do not realize is that after the age of 50, our bodies begin losing muscle mass at a rate of up to 1 to 2% every single year. Even more importantly, we lose our actual physical strength at an even faster pace, which directly impacts your daily balance, independence, and ability to live life on your own terms. Traditional lower body exercises like standard squats, especially how most older adults attempt them, are often highly ineffective. They can actively increase joint stress, aggravate knee pain, and discourage consistency, explaining why so many older individuals give up long before seeing real results. Today, we are going to completely flip that narrative upside down. You are going to discover 3 simple, scientifically backed exercises that directly target the precise muscles responsible for your stability, walking power, and fall prevention. They achieve this in a manner that is significantly safer, highly controlled, and vastly more effective than any standard squat. Remarkably, one of these specific movements has been proven clinically to activate key lower body muscles up to 15 times, more efficiently than traditional bodyweight squats. You do not need an expensive gym membership, complicated equipment, or a large amount of time to start seeing massive improvements. These exercises work in harmony with your body to rebuild lost strength, drastically improve blood circulation, protect vulnerable joints, and completely restore your confidence with every step. Before we dive into the first exercise, ask yourself how much longer you are truly willing to let weak legs limit your personal freedom, when just a few dedicated minutes a day could completely change how you move. The very first exercise we are about to explore may look almost too simple to work, but you must not let that initial appearance fool you. This movement directly targets the exact muscles that carry the heaviest burden for keeping you steady on your feet, specifically your glutes and hamstrings. These are the muscle groups that tend to weaken the absolute fastest as we age, leading to slower walking speeds, poor balance, and a terrifyingly higher risk of suffering a fall. What makes this exercise so powerful is that it trains these critical muscles in a way that mimics real-life movement patterns rather than artificial gym machine motions. The functional strength you build here transfers seamlessly into your daily life activities, so instead of constantly struggling to stand up, you start to feel incredibly controlled and deeply confident. This foundational exercise is called the seated to stand controlled rise, and it is an absolute game changer for anyone over 60 because it completely removes dangerous strain from your knees while fully activating your lower body. Sit on a very sturdy chair with your feet planted flat on the ground at about shoulder width apart, ensuring your knees are perfectly aligned with your toes and your back remains straight but relaxed. Slowly lean your torso slightly forward to smoothly shift your body weight over your feet. Then firmly press down through your heels and stand up at a slow pace, squeezing your glutes as you rise. The critical detail almost everyone misses is that you must completely control the entire range of motion, especially the way back down. Lowering yourself slowly and deliberately back into the chair creates a massively powerful muscle-building stimulus, without putting any destructive stress on your aging joints. If this movement feels a little too easy at first, you can increase the physical challenge by pausing halfway up or down for a few seconds to force your muscles to work harder. If it feels too difficult, you can gently place your hands on your thighs for extra support, but your ultimate goal over time is to rely less and less on your arms. Being able to successfully stand up from a standard chair without using your hands is widely considered one of the strongest, Medical indicators of long-term mobility and independent living. Doing just 8 to 12 of these slow, focused repetitions once or twice a day can begin to rebuild your functional strength much faster than you might expect. Many physical therapists actively prioritize this exact movement over traditional squats for older adults because it is much safer, highly functional, and far easier to stay consistent with. The second exercise takes your progress to another level entirely by targeting the hidden muscles that protect your knees and stabilize your entire lower body in ways most people overlook. This is where we actively start addressing severely underactive hip stabilizers, especially the neglected muscles located on the outer sides of your hips. When these specific lateral muscles are weak, your knees will naturally collapse inward during walking, standing, and simple movements like turning around or stepping sideways. This mechanical failure puts entirely unnecessary stress on your joint structures and dramatically increases your overall risk of suffering a nasty fall. Most people go their entire lives without ever training these muscles properly because traditional exercises simply do not activate them enough to matter. This next movement is called the standing side leg raise with control, and while it may look remarkably simple, it targets those desperately neglected stabilizer muscles directly to build resilient strength. Stand up tall next to a solid wall, a heavy chair, or a kitchen countertop to ensure you maintain perfect balance, keeping your posture proudly upright and your feet spaced roughly hip-width apart. Slowly and deliberately lift one leg directly out to the side, without leaning your upper body or tilting your shoulders whatsoever. You are not trying to lift your leg as high as humanly possible. You are trying to keep your torso completely frozen while your hip muscles do all the heavy lifting. The exact moment your torso starts leaning away, you completely lose the muscular activation where it matters most. Lift your leg to a perfectly comfortable height. Pause for 1 or 2 full seconds at the top, and then slowly lower it back down to the floor with full, unwavering control. The eccentric downward motion is where deep, transformative muscle engagement actually happens, and you can make it more effective by slightly turning your lifting toes forward or angled slightly downward. This tiny adjustment directly shifts much more of the workload into the gluteus medius, the primary key muscle responsible for keeping your pelvis totally stable whenever you take a step. You should aim for about 10 to 15 highly controlled repetitions on each side of your body, and do not be alarmed if you start to feel a deep, intense burn right on the outside of your hips. Over time, as these vital stabilizers get stronger and more resilient, you will notice that your knees feel substantially more supported and your daily walking becomes noticeably smoother. Medical studies have consistently shown that improving lateral hip strength can significantly reduce fall risk in older adults, sometimes even more effectively than general lower body strength training alone. If this ever feels a bit too easy, you can easily add a rubber resistance band around your legs to massively increase the challenge, or just slow down your movement tempo even more. The third exercise is exactly where everything finally comes together perfectly, targeting not just your raw muscle strength, but your crucial coordination, blood circulation, and exact movement pattern. This highly functional movement is called the heel-to-toe walking pattern, and it actively retrains your nervous system to move safely, smoothly, and confidently. As we naturally age, our normal walking pattern often becomes much shorter, significantly flatter, and far less controlled, which massively increases the risk of tripping over your own feet. By consciously and deliberately retraining the stepping pattern, you can successfully reverse many of those negative effects surprisingly quickly. Stand up very tall with your shoulders completely relaxed, keeping your eyes looking straight forward rather than staring down at your feet. Take a very slow, deliberate step forward by intentionally placing your heel firmly on the ground first, then gradually and smoothly rolling your foot entirely through to your toes. Finally, Push off gently as you bring your other leg forward to repeat the process, with the main key here being absolute control and deep spatial awareness rather than moving with speed. Each step should feel completely deliberate, totally stable, and perfectly balanced, almost like you are carefully walking on a painted straight line with deep intention. You can make this drill significantly more challenging by placing one foot directly in front of the other, so the heel directly touches the toe, essentially like doing a tightrope walk. You should aim for about 20 to 30 slow, deliberate steps, walking back and forth once or twice every single day, to improve the crucial neural connection between your brain and your muscles. This continuous rolling motion of the foot actively helps stimulate vital blood flow deep in your lower legs, reducing joint stiffness and helping remarkably with nagging issues like perpetually cold feet. Over a short period of time, many people clearly notice that their everyday walking becomes noticeably lighter, much more fluid, and significantly less physically tiring. Your ability to walk confidently is heavily about precise timing, perfect coordination, and a deep, underlying trust in your own body's capabilities, all of which are completely rebuilt through this simple walking exercise. When you brilliantly combine this walking drill with the first two strength exercises, you are actively rebuilding a complete, fully functional biological system that tirelessly supports your independence and physical safety. The final part that most people unfortunately overlook is how you actually apply these movements in your daily life. Because consistency will absolutely always beat high intensity, especially when you are over 60. Your body truly needs regular, highly controlled daily stimulation that allows your muscles, joints, and nervous system to adapt safely and progressively over time rather than occasional, exhausting bursts of heavy effort. Focus on building a ridiculously simple routine you can easily stick to every single day, even if it only takes 5 to 10 minutes to finish. By combining all three of these exercises into one short, seamless sequence. Begin with your highly controlled seated-to-stand repetitions to properly activate your major leg muscles. Move directly into your side leg raises to effectively wake up your hip stabilizers, and finish with your heel-to-toe walking. As the weeks go by, you can gradually choose to increase your repetitions, slow down your tempo for a harder burn, or even add some light resistance. But always prioritize total control and proper form. Scientific studies consistently and overwhelmingly show that even people deep in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can successfully rebuild highly significant strength and drastically reduce their overall risk of falls. It is absolutely never too late for you to start this process, because every single small effort you make today is actively and permanently reshaping exactly how you will move, feel, and live. If you just stay disciplined and consistent with these three specific exercises, you will inevitably begin to notice massive changes that go far beyond just having slightly stronger legs. That underlying, nagging fear of falling down slowly starts to disappear completely, permanently replaced by a powerful sense of total control and deep independence that many people mistakenly think is gone forever. Start today. Keep the whole process simple. Stay highly consistent. And simply let your body show you just how much amazing stuff it is still fully capable of achieving.